My husband and I drove 400 miles to watch our son for free so he could go on. We went on his anniversary trip when we got there. Our son's bride made us sleep in the closet. "Don't touch anything upstairs," she said. We ate junk food in plastic, bowls next to the water heater. When I asked, "For a blanket?" she laughed. When they got back, she told we were just there to help the kids, so I packed my things, but not before I'm 64. My name is Mary Ann. David is my husband. 66. We live in the country in Missouri. I was no longer raising him from work on the electricity. We have a little blue A house with a yard, a bird bath, and a porch chair that breaks in the wind. It took longer to do things after we retired, but we did a lot of work as volunteers to fix things up and help us out when we need it. Son Tyler is our only child and is 38 years old now. Does money work in Colorado Springs? He had a big heart. He'd taken strays and helped the people next door rake leaves and things like that. We taught him to be nice to people, in particular family. He married Brittany 6 years ago. She's 35 years old. She's smart, driven, and sure of herself. Always put together but cold and not mean at first. Just far away, like she never was dying to get close to her holiday. But her smiles never change, reached her eyes. I always thought I used to be careful around her. Even I helped them with 2 things. Liam and Ellie are our world, our kids. I don't see them very often because from far away, but we send gifts to stay. 13 weeks ago, Tyler called. He said they were going to have an anniversary party, a 5-day trip to Napa Valley, which it was to Brittany as a surprise. He had excited like a teen. "Can you and Dad come? Will you come watch the kids? Let's cover it. It would mean the world to me. Dennis and I didn't even, do not be afraid, honey. I said we'd be there. I was happy. A list of the things I baked and packed. There were even games and coloring books. Daniel, a DVD player for movie nights. I got some tools in case was a broken door hinge or a tap that was leaking. We didn't just want to help the kids, no matter what they wanted. The drive. We stopped after traveling almost 400 miles, 8 hours for gas and coffee. After some time, we pulled into their driveway. Things started happening around 5 p.m. Brittany turned around and opened the door. "No, hi, don't smile. Thanks for coming. Our packing is still not done, but you're early." Not rude at all, but cold. Like we were. Tyler came out of the birth room a minute later. He looked tired, but he hugged us and said he liked that we went on the trip. Brittany was asked where we were going to sleep. She didn't look at us and said, "We set. Please don't go up the garage. I don't want the house to be upstairs. A mess when we get back." I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. She showed us the side door, and we went in. I felt my heart sink when I went into the garage. A crib was squished up against the water heater. A folding chair with a blanket over it. It and 2 plastic bins were pushed into the corner to make room. 1 pillow thin, lumpy, no real beds, no heater, no light. I turned to her and ignored the light bulb above me. "Have you got an extra blanket?" She smiled and said, "Figure it out." Then she turned around. I stood there as I walked back into the house. There. My husband put his hand on my, leaned in and said, "Let's do this. For the kids." That night we ate dinner. She left Tupperware in the garage, the fridge with a note that said, "The dinner is over, use the plastic. Bowls with nothing. Warm or welcome to eat hot spaghetti and cabbage that has been steamed." We ate at the workbench. There was quiet. The garage smelled like old things, tires every time the wind blew the side. The next morning, the door shook when I woke up. I'm too old to sleep on a cot with you. Sore, I had no support and my back was stiff. Had a sore neck. But the kids, Liam hugged me and ran to me, which made me feel better. Elle jumped up and into my arms and asked if I had the silly bear story with me. We read, played, and made PB and JS. Watched cartoons. That part was fun, brought back the reason I came, but Brittany's there were strict rules. So she texted every day, no screens until 4 p.m., and juice before lunch. Ellie doesn't like carrots. So don't push them. It was the only time she asked how we were. Not even a, did you find the garage okay? It got cold on the third night. Dropped into the 30s. I asked Tyler if he saw that they had an extra space heater. I believe there is one in the attic. Bree, I'll check when we get back. I heard that the closet has a code. She told us to use that if we were cold. Do not want the kids to touch the wires. Chris didn't say anything. He just looked down. That's when he knew he was mad. But he wasn't not with our kid, but with someone else not when they needed us. So we froze. That's how they ate for 4 nights. Food leftovers getting into the house early in the morning to take a quiet shower before. When the kids woke up, we didn't sit on the couch or turn on the TV. We were not allowed to live outside of garage. And then the day they got? The kids were happy and ran back to open the door when they heard the car. Daddy, we stood there and smiled. She got on her knees, hugged them, and said, "Did you behave for the helpers? Can you help?" Tyler called his mom and said, "Mom, it's Grandma and Grandpa." Brittany told him. I didn't wave him off. Not to make things clear, they were told to get help going to stay in the garage. That's what they knew. I stood there like I wasn't there when Dennis put his hand on I went back, but this time I pulled away. "I'm going to start packing," I stated. I got our bags and went into the garage, then came back inside, and I began collecting everything I spent a year making this picture album by hand. I packed the blanket I made for Ellie's family. When she was born, the slow pot was gone. We gave them for their wedding. Chris unplugged it and grabbed it. The box of tools he gave Tyler when he bought the house a fancy set with his name on it, written on it, that it was in the still garage. We took everything we ever gave you, even not opened. We gave them everything we loved, and before we left, I told Tyler in a low voice, We love you, but we're not here to help. Our family and I deserve better." Then he left, but hasn't called yet. It's been almost 2 weeks since we left Colorado Springs. Tyler hasn't called or texted. I checked my email several times but didn't see any. I was on the phone like a fool and thought maybe he might call and ask if we got home. It's okay to say sorry. Say something. Don't be quiet. Chris didn't say much either, but I could tell he had. He began improving things because of something. Things around the house that didn't need to be fixed, painting over the mailbox, putting down new kitchen tiles. That's how I knew he wasn't mad at me. At everything. And on day 13, my sister called, and she's friends with one of you. Better check out Brittany's aunts on Facebook. Hold on, she said. Brittany had put up an online message with a lot of fake smiles and a big thank you to our wonderful parents for getting us away, for our thank you for the extra. On our date, thanks for your help and for making the week go smoothly. For we're lucky to have kids like family that supports family, that supports family. She put us to sleep next to a water heater, gave us cold food, and told her kids we hired help. I was shaking. I read that post over and over again. Was the worst part. The nice things people have said about you. Parents who do that hope they ruin "those are the signs of love" kids. Stood behind me and read over my shoulder. He didn't say anything. He just turned around. Went around and into the garage a few times. After a few minutes, he came back with an old writing pad, one of those yellow law pads which he uses to work. On wires, plans, or homework, he turned it over, open, and showed me a list of all the gifts, every favor he did, and every fix he made for Tyler's house. In his clean handwriting, put up ceiling fans in for hours, and bought parts myself, letter from the city to build deck railing. The weekend job. That replaced the water heater, paid full cost. No money back, rewired garage lights, fixed a leak in the dishwasher, put the washer and dryer in the laundry room upstairs. Looked at the bottom number for a while, $9,000 worth of fixes and things over 6 years, and that doesn't include we gave away the nursery items we bought. They couldn't pay for it. The baby made by hand wraps around the party decorations. Every year, I made the gas money, gift cards for groceries, Christmas dinners I threw for them. I took a break because it hit me all at once. Had been used before and after that trip. I wasn't going to keep quiet about that for years. I made my own list that night, and then I wrote Tyler a letter instead of Brittany. Tyler, you are our son, and we will always love you. We love you, but we're not blind. Being there for you and your family for years.
We drove
of work,
400 miles
money,
to help you
and
up to
love
now.
not.
We stayed
have
in your
never
garage
asked
without
for anything back.
We were upset
We have
that
never
we got
thrown
cold
it in
and
your
hungry.
face. Didn't go near your house because wife made us feel like we didn't know her. We did not fight because we did not wish to. Brittany, telling your kids about it hurt you. We were just there to help, and you said something broke, but we're not mad. No longer just done. If you want to keep in touch with us, you'll have to find it yourself. We're not here. Calling again. It was printed, shipped, and tracked. The USPS told me they got it. Email said it was delivered, but still nothing. After a few days, Dennis got a call. It wasn't Tyler. It was Tyler's boss. It looked like Dennis had done some work on the electricity in their home office a year ago. I put in new plugs for Tyler's. Dennis set up a work-from-home job for free. All the time his boss was calling now because there was something in. At one point, Tyler had talked about how much he had spent to make the house better. Office gave out names and acted like he hired them, hired a professional, and paid more for. The boss wanted Dennis's name for the future. Dennis told the truth. I did it. For free. He's my son. It took a long time. There was quiet on the line, and then the boss spoke. I see. Tyler finally said it the next day. I picked up the phone and said, Hey, Mom. Hey, Tyler. He was quiet for a bit. Did you really take the egg crock pot? I took everything I gave you. There was another pause. I didn't know, she said. Brittany said those things about the garage. And the kids you were there with. He let out a sigh of relief. She wasn't really saying that. Dad, don't lie to me. For another long pause. I told my boss about the wires. He said telling the truth I might get in trouble with my mom. I don't know what kind of job I'm in now. I was mad again. No, I don't get why you let your wife treat us like trash. You told your kids we were strangers. What you want to talk about places to sleep. Try sleeping in a shed after leaving in 8 hours to help you. I hung up. Dennis was standing nearby, with a cup in his hand. I shook my head no when he asked for coffee. She's still in his mind, Dennis, yes. Let him go. I wanted to believe that. That should have been the end of it, but there were two. After a few days, we got an envelope with Brittany writing a letter with no welcome cards. I'm sorry. Should you want to burn this bridge, you did it. So don't expect to see the kids again, until you learn how to behave. I just sat there and looked at the paper. Hands were shaking. It wasn't over yet. By a large margin, after reading Brittany's letter, I didn't cry, but I felt something. Cooler. Having felt less full, she drew a line. In ink. You won't see the kids again, and I thought it for the first time in my life. Chris read the letter out loud to her. He didn't say anything for a while. Long time after that, he went outside and got the mower. Took it apart, cleaned each blade, and put it back together, and cut the lawn in a straight, angry line rows until the sun went down. That's what, when his heart hurts, he fixes things. He has power over me. I just sat in the kitchen, sitting down with the letter in my hands, and to figure out how our own family had became this, we gave them everything. The following week, I packed up the rest of We had pictures of Tyler and his family. Not to throw away, just to get them. I didn't want to look at that. Christmas picture no longer the one where Brittany tried hard to smile in front of. I didn't want to remember how our tree looked. The first time Ellie called me Mimi, I was so proud that it hurt now. After that, I thought things would calm down. But then my phone rang again. Tyler's was someone I didn't expect. Ex-girlfriend Monica, with whom they dated in I liked her as a college sweetheart. She still sends some Christmas cards. Years, we've been friends on Facebook. I barely talk. Hi, Mrs. R. I'm sorry, Marianne. I saw something that made me think of you. Should know she told me that a friend of ours and Brittany had shared something. From an online moms group in my area, a big thread closed group, but someone had took a picture of it and sent it around. Brittany sent the message. She had written a long, sad, twisted story. She told lies to make it sound like what my in-laws came to do. Unknown people slept in the garage, even though we gave them a room, whined all the time and took back gifts and caused trouble with they're now trying to turn our son into a kid. Against us, please tell me I'm not crazy for cutting them off from the comments. Your toxic people don't do the right thing. Deserve to see your kids, don't let them, they're guilty, and you should keep your peace. Shocked that she made us look like bad guys. But the twist. Someone in the comments said an old friend from when they lived in Aurora called her out. Wait, I remember those in-laws built your deck for free and used to watch your kids while you... Marketing. So this doesn't make sense. Then someone else spoke up, and someone else. Soon, people began to doubt the story that wants receipts. Some of Brittany's friends looked like I got a few of their messages mixed up. One said in secret, I didn't know you were there. Had always been the same Mimi. Brittany wrote about how close you seemed what had happened. I didn't answer right. Away, but it made me think of I got a thought and took out a binder from our hall. I kept all of Liam and she drew for us every thank you. Take note of every love note written by Mimi and Pop. I scanned them and had pictures too. Several hundred of me holding Ellie after her Liam's first performance with Dennis, showing him how. To fish birthday events, I put up a simple sign on sleepovers. We might not be on my own Facebook page, no longer welcome, but we will always remember how much we loved each other and the time we spent. These times they really meant a lot to us. For anyone who heard a different story, here is the truth, which I wrote 20 years ago. Of love and proof in letters and pictures, I didn't tag anyone or call anyone out by name. But within hours, everyone knew the post gone off. I got texts from Tyler's Brittany's old high school friends, people at work, even from a former friend. One of theirs who remembered fixing their broken heater during a storms, all said the same thing. Snow. This doesn't sound like the people Brittany said. You don't deserve that. The big twist came when they asked, what can we do? That same night, around 10 p.m., Dennis and I were getting ready for bed when his phone rang. Tyler sent you a text message. Take down that post. Brittany is going crazy. Dennis did not answer. He only looked at me. Tyler texted, let them lose it. Again, she said she would leave me if I haven't cut ties with. I looked at the screen for a long time. I then took Dennis's phone and wrote back one line. That's your choice, but we won't be shamed for it. He really did read it. He didn't lie. Claimed that we turned off the lights the next early this morning, something I never heard our doorbell ring and saw who it was. Brittany's father was on the porch. Mom, I opened the door and there she was. There stood Cheryl, Brittany's mom. And we haven't seen her since Tyler's wedding. She didn't say much and had always been quiet. Back then, but now her lips were tight and her jaw was tight. Felt like she had something in her hands. May I come in? She asked Daniel was I could see you in the kitchen behind me, agreed. Sure. We sat down at the table, and I poured her a drink. She didn't touch the coffee. I saw your Aunt Brittany's, she said. After a while, she looked down at her hands. I'm not shocked that she bit her nails. She finally said about Brittany. But I'm sorry about how they treated my daughter and what she has become. I didn't know what to say to that. She has always been in charge. It's what my dad and I used to fight over why I left. Her dad gave her, when she was 13, everything no rules. And when she met Tyler, she was nice Tyler. Be nice and gentle. I knew she would eat him. Alive? I forced a hard swallow. She told me not to. To talk to you and said you were there. You told her to turn her family against her. Cheryl took a moment to think. But I know. I think I saw pictures of her and you. The writing. I remember the quilts you made for those people. Brittany too, didn't you? Me not or she folded it for their first Christmas together. And next day, put it in a donation box. Spring Cheryl flinched and we were quiet. A while, she said the last thing I heard. As planned, I'd like to help you with the sound made my heart pound. You can't see them because she told you not to, but I still have visits allowed by the court every other month from when she tried to cut me off before bylaw. I'm still their grandma. If you want to see them again, come with me next. Visit. No one can stop us." I closed my eyes. She didn't even know if it was allowed, but she did it anyway. Said for sure that she was gone. You already threw the fight, you do that. I asked me what I should have done more years ago. She said I might do it if I had a girl. Wouldn't be this mean in 2 weeks. We were flying back to Colorado is not to Britain's list. Cheryl picked up the kids from a public place for the start of her visit, a library parking lot, and as we strolled up, the kids screamed when they saw us. "Pop Mimu!" They came charging into RL, clung to my neck, and cried in my arms. Liam put his arms around Dennis's waist. I almost couldn't breathe because I was so sad. I missed them so much that we walked around and bought them ice cream. I read in the park while playing on the swings. They didn't ask about the silly bear story twice. They were just glad to be with their parents, just the two of us, so the visit was short. Hours to make sure Cheryl could keep custody of her terms. She said she would do it again next. Whenever she came to see us, she told Brittany that we had met Bree broke down over text, but couldn't say anything. Cheryl was right. The law was on her side. The next day, there was more in the mail from a lawyer. It was a letter, legal papers that aren't public, just a threat from Brittany should cut off all contact with our kids, or more steps will be taken. I sent it to Cheryl's lawyer, who already knew about Brittany's past, trying to get custody and visits messing around, and this is where the payback takes place, did not start with yelling or a fight, but life is slow consequences. Cheryl asked for more time viewing rights because of emotional alienation. She sent copies of what Brittany said on Facebook was just the, "Please help us write our letter to the C-Sandist." I lied under oath about the threats, and so did Dennis. So did Brittany's niece or nephew who had read the posts and told the story didn't show up to court date 3. After a few weeks, we saw the whole thing happen on the video call. Brittany tried to act calm, but she's under a lot of stress. She snapped out loud what she was rude to Cheryl and couldn't take it back. The judge did not like that you called us worms. That Cheryl was finally given joint trips over the holidays and 1 weekend a month with the opportunity to give time to other people, to family members if she wants to. That had us from that day on. We saw the kids at least once a month. And Tyler stayed quiet the whole time, didn't stand up for us or her either, sat there. Stupid. He texted me that night to ask why I didn't answer. "Are you doing this?" I texted again. "You're tearing us apart." Still no answer, but after months I got a new message from a number I don't know. Is this Moran? This is Diane from Tyler's work. I thought you should know that he quit. Today there were protests and a lawsuit. Write about being dishonest, about what you did when he did electricity work, it came back to bite him. I'm sorry if this is rude, but I thought Tyler lost his job, and you should know about it. Brittany, well, word got out about her. She stuck to her job in the moms group. Taken a picture and sent one of the moms she made fun of was an old business. It cost her telling the story of the garage grandparents lived in the area for a while. We didn't celebrate any of that, hint, but we didn't feel bad either. And I hard asked myself while I looked at myself, is it because I didn't set limits quickly? Why did I keep giving when respect wasn't given back? So why did I let it happen? Someone made me feel like I wasn't important. Telling your family the truth is part of the blame was mine, not because of what happened, but because letting it go on for too long, so I no longer did I say yes because guilt. I stopped telling them what was going on. People who didn't care about me began to live. For me and Dennis, we still make banana bread for the kids. Dennis built Liam a treehouse in now Cheryl's yard. Dog calls her Cheryl. She still calls me Mimi and calls me Nana. Don't talk to Tyler again until he's ready to be a son, not just a son. The last time I saw Brittany, she was singing. Was far away at a school play, Cheryl asked us, and the kids had no idea. Their mom and dad would be. We stayed in the back and watched. Be quiet. After that, Ellie saw us and waved. Bree saw, and this time she didn't say anything. She didn't say a word as her daughter ran. To us first, I'm not going to deny about how that moment felt good, because any story Brittany tries to be honest it lives in Ellie's already written. Liam drew a hug in our time together, earned the love we gave, and that's the part they can never do, get it back.